Hello students, good day all. In this session, we are going to learn about the new chapter number 15, waves. In this, we are going to learn about introduction and the types of waves, what is wave motion. These are all the things. Let us discuss now, children. In the previous chapter, we have learned about the oscillations. Here, we are going to learn about the wave and the wave motion. See, you may, if suppose you are continue dropping pebbles in the pond, then you may see the circles which is rapidly moving outward from the one point whenever the water which is getting, the water surface is getting disturbed. If it giving a feeling as if the water is moving outward from the point which is of the disturbance, maybe you are creating the disturbance in one point. If you put same point, in the same point, a cork in the place or in the piece of cork in the disturbance, what will happen to the surface? It seems that the cork piece is also moves up and down, but it will not move away from the center of disturbance, right? So this is about, we can say, this shows that the water mass does not flow outward with the circles, but rather the disturbances is created, right? So similarly, when we speak, the sound which is moves forward from us, right? And without any disturbances or any flow of air from one point or one part of the medium to another. So this disturbances which is produced in air are such less obviously, and we can say only our ear or the microphones are getting the detecting. It can only detect that, right? So these patterns which moves without the actual physical the transfer, or we can say the flow of matter as the whole. So these are all we can call it as the waves. In this chapter, we are going to study about such waves only, right? This wave motion. So actually it is a kind of a disturbance which travels through a medium due to repeated vibrations which is occurring the particle, the medium above their mean position. So that means we are saying that the information and the energy which is getting propagate from one point to another, but there is no motion of the matter which is occurring. So what are the characteristics of this wave? See, in a wave motion, we can say the disturbance which is travels through the medium which is getting only forward in the medium, while the particles is simply getting vibrated about their mean position. And the velocity of the particle is different from the velocity of the propagation of wave. And also we can say that about each particle of the medium, it lags behind its predecessor by the definite phase angle, right? So these are all the points which we can say the characteristics of the wave motion. The next one is types of waves. See, actually the three types of wave which is there: the mechanical waves, the electromagnetic waves, and the matter waves. The mechanical waves, the waves which requires a medium, that is the material for the medium for the propagation, which we can call it as mechanical waves or elastic waves. So, these examples, we can say water waves, sound waves, right? So, the next one is what? Electromagnetic waves. So, the waves which travels in the form of oscillating electric and the magnetic fields are called electromagnetic waves. Examples, the waves which are all like visible waves, visible light, or ultraviolet light, radio wave. These are all the examples of electromagnetic waves. The next one is what? Matter waves. The matter waves which are associated, the waves which are associated with the microscopic particle. What is the microscopic particles? For example, like electron, proton, these are all the particles. So when they are in the motion, which we can call this matter waves or de Broglie waves, right? So example, electron microscope. So this helps to know about the matter waves which is associated with the fast moving electrons, right? See the two different types of waves, see, which is transverse wave and the longitudinal wave. The difference is by differentiating that you may understand very clearly, right? So the vibrations of the particle of the medium are perpendicular to the direction of propagation. That is transverse wave. Longitudinal wave, actually that is the parallel to the direction of propagation. And in transverse wave, the alternative, the crest and the top are formed. But here in the longitudinal wave, the alternate zones and the compressions. That means what? The compressions and the rarefactions are formed. So these waves that may be formed in solids and over liquid also it will happen. See, these waves, that means the longitudinal waves, may be formed in solids, liquid and as well as gaseous particle. In transverse waves that do not involve changes of pressure and the density of the water actually. I mean that all the medium, not only in the liquid, all the medium, there is no changes will be occur in the pressure and the density. But here in the longitudinal, the changes of pressure and the density will be happening. So these waves, the transverse waves, that can be polarized. And the longitudinal waves that are not polarized, right? This shows that the water mass does not flow outward with the circles, but rather the disturbances is created, right? So similarly, when we speak, the sound which is moves forward from us, right? And without any disturbances or any flow of air from one point or one part of the medium to another. So this disturbances which is produced in air are such less obviously, and we can say only our ear or the microphones are getting the detecting. It can only detect that, right? So these patterns which moves without the actual physical the transfer, or we can say the flow of matter as the whole. So these are all we can call it as the waves. In this chapter, we are going to study about such waves only, right?